Welcome back to Bloodline Bikers, and in today's video I'm here to tell you why BMW Motorad never wanted you to know about this. So let's get on to this video. Right guys, welcome back to this educational video. I know many of you are going to be watching this not knowing what the hell I've loaded up here, which is perfectly fine. This is a tool that many years ago was being used to steal BMW cars and motorbikes. And if many of you guys don't know, this is also the tool when people were having their TFT screens stolen out of their BMW bikes. This is a tool that people were using to be able to remove the mileage, clean them up, and be able to sell them on and be able to be used on any other bike just with a simple programming and a VIN match. This is the tool they were using. This is the tool they use to be able to bypass everything. This is an engineering tool. They've now made it very incredibly hard to be able to get hold of unless you're a business and someone that deals in this kind of stuff like myself. So now if you was to go and buy one of these, they would ask for a lot of ID and things that you're doing with it and your business, so on and so on and so on. Now, I've had this for many years because it's something I've always done. This is proper engineering, hardware at its finest and software. This is not for the average person to be able to go in and use because you would completely destroy your car, your bike, whatever it is you're going to be using it on. This is fully for BMW, and this gives you full access to the car and bike, regardless of what it is you're on. And more importantly, there is no help here. So if you make a mistake, there's no reverting it. You've got to be aware of that. You can brick modules on this. You can mess up the code. You can do a lot of things very dangerously if you don't know what you're doing with this software. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to go here and click F and G series, because obviously when we're doing things, this is what we're going to be doing. We could do this. We'll click connect to car, which is not a car, it's actually a bike. You'll see all the information pop up here. It detects what bike it is. You can see that it gives me all the information, all here on the bike. You can see there. Now, a lot of scan tools don't give you that kind of information. Now, you can see here, this is all our modules on the bike. You can see there what we can do. We can go into vehicle coding, special function, vehicle program, whatever we want to do. So if we click, for instance, vehicle programming, we can go here, and you can see here, we've got the vehicle programming on DME. We've got all the modules here that we can actually code. Now, if we go into vehicle programming, you can see here, this is our program. We can select whatever we want and program. We got simple mode, program all units, load FA from the bench. Here, FA is basically everything that's on your bike, that's fitted to your bike. And you can see here we can load individual files. So we've got our SWFKs, those are our software flash files, our bootloader, our coding file, our hardware file as well for what hardware it is. That's for the checksum on here. So you've got all these different files here, and what we can do if we really wanted to is what I've told many of you guys. You can see here we've got all different eye levels, okay? So you can see here we've got up to 2022, 22 of the third, that's basically the GS 1250. And you can see here we've got 18, 17, 16, 15. I can flash any eye step I wanted to my bike just by selecting it. So 20 would be the year, 7 would be the middle of the year or the beginning of the year, depending on when you bought the bike. And then 500 and 501 would be the latest versions. So what you do is you look here, for instance, so mine's in 18. So mine would be 18, so the latest version on mine would be 521, or, you know, that would be the latest version, or 18 of the 11, 510. So you get an idea of what would be your latest version, what would be your last version, or you can backflash it and do whatever you want. You can integrate whatever eye level you want. So you can either do a constructive flash, a single flash, or a complete flash. Completely up to you what you want to do. But if we just do, for instance, I don't know, if we just do calculate programming, and we click yes, you can see here, for instance, the combis come up. So if we was to, for instance, do programming, we'll click no, but you get to an idea. When you get the programming to come up, you'll have the choice between either to change the VIN on that module or leave the VIN the same. So you could change the VIN on any module you wanted. So for instance, if I go into here, for instance, vehicle configuration, you can see here, this is all my stuff. And you can see here, I can remove this and add whatever I wanted just by this tool. You can see I can add to the Salapart element and code it in right vehicle configuration. You got the E words, the HO words, series, color, date, other. I can do whatever I want through this tool. I can add anything I want, anti-kidnapping functions, that would be for cars. But you get an idea, we don't have all this on the bike, so it's quite stupid really. But you can see here, you can add whatever you want. This is all the FAs from BMW. For cars, for bikes, you can just add it in, and that's the vehicle configuration. Now, obviously, you can also read the DTCs here. can read your DCCs, reset the FEM to start. You can wake it up if you wanted to make a key and you've lost all your keys. You could do whatever you basically want. It's actually quite impressive, this tool. As I said, this tool is for advanced people because you can see it does vehicle code and programming. This is what I use when I want to program something very, very quickly. But for your average person, they're not going to know how to do that. The good thing about this is it will let you know if anything needs programming. And if it does, you can do it. So now if we just click this one, which is in FEM BDC Keylearn, and we just click get key info, wait a second. You can see here, it loaded up my VIN with my key and it tells you if the key's in the ignition switch or not. I can make a key here. So you can see here, if I've got enough keys, I can disable them. So you can see here, I can enable and disable the keys in here. And I also can prepare a dealer key of an ignition switch. I can reset the ISM from original key, reset the kilometers. So I can reset everything, back up the coding, update it, reset FEM to start, emergency switch on. So you can see there as well, this is why criminals and everything will get in this tool and using it. So if your bike's off, for instance, I could just come to your OBD port, plug this up, switch your bike on, and away I go. And start your bike up and ride off. And you can do that with a car as well. It's that simple to make a key, literally making a key here. You just find a slot, you click that, and you just do program BDC system or prepare dealer key with ignition switch. If you don't have that, you can obviously just write the key in here. The key ID is really, really not hard. You can enable, disable, or you can read ISM from the original key and make a key, which is the simplest way if you've got the key. But if you don't have a key, you can literally just program one in straight away. And it literally takes 2 seconds to do it. You can also do all keys lost. So a lot of these settings here are engineering. You can see here, I'm able to make keys for my bike. I'm able to do whatever I want. Now, you've got to bear in mind, a lot of criminals, this is what they use to be able to make keys. They will just go to this, just do all keys lost and boom, make a key. It takes literally 2 seconds to make a key. BMW will have you believe that you need to go for a key for them. It can take 4 weeks. They need to get the ISN code, this code, that code. No, they don't from the database. With tools like this, I can make a key for a motorbike or a car with under 2 minutes and I'm gone, okay? It's very, very simple. And a lot of people won't be aware of that. But this is why I'm making awareness to it. It tells you your frequency up here, so I know what key it is, what SWFL files on the BDC, this, that, the other. And if you can see there, the current version is not supported. That is because BMW did an update to the BDC to stop people being able to do that. So they did this on the CAS-3s as well. So what they did on BMW cars is they updated the CAS-3 that you can't just make a key easily and drive away the car, because a lot of people were driving away with M3s, M5s, being able just to steal and plug it up and run away. So what BMW did is patched the software on the module that what this tool has to do is downgrade to the older version. You make the key, then you upgrade to the later version again. You won't be able to do it on the latest version. So this tool will downgrade you and then it will update again after I've made the key. That's part of BMW's security feature to stop people being able to steal cars and bikes. That's what they did. So yes, that's how you do it. And this is what I mean, guys. This tool is very, very deadly. And this is why they've made it very, very strict to get hold of. This tool's about $2,500 to be able to buy. You won't just be able to go out and buy it. And for the average person, they're not going to go and buy it. But I'm just trying to make awareness on the kind of tools that people are using to be able to do bikes and to be able to do this and do that. You know, you can do everything with this tool, and this is an engineering tool. And like I said, you have to prove your company, what you do. If you do in cars, electronics, you won't be able to get this if you're just the average mechanic. The average mechanic is not going to go and buy something like this. This is something for engineering, computer engineering. And if you're divulging into bikes a lot deeper than just repairing them, which is something I do. But you get a drift of everything you can see here. And a lot of you won't understand what all this means, which I get. But this is exactly what I mean. This is why I said in the wrong hands, this can be deadly. And this is why I say this is not the type of software for your average Joe who will go and, just buy one and think, oh yeah, I can just use it out of the box like I can, a simple program. No, it really, really isn't. You need to know what you're doing. Because for instance, if you've got that message up here, people think, what the hell am I meant to do? But luckily I know what to do because I do this day in, day out. But like I said, that is how you would make a key here. It gets all your key info. I can check what keys I've got, what keys are enabled, what keys I ain't got, and I could disable keys. So for instance, if my bike, for instance, the owner didn't want to give me the key, I'll just come in here, click that, and just click disable the key. And that's it, and I can erase it as well. So I wouldn't just disable it because I like to erase it purely because you never know if that person's got the same tool and can re-enable it. So deleting it means the key's no longer valid, and that's it. They will never be able to gain access to your car or bike. But for instance, if you had a bike and you've lost the key and you want it raised because you don't know, that's something I could do with this software for you, easy peasy. A lot of people will have you believe that it can't be done. I'm telling you it can be. If I go up to key learn here, you can go here and basically you could just do all keys lost and make a key. It really ain't that hard. And you can see here, we've got every option to exchange the FEM BDC if we're going to be changing it, reset the FEM to the start, read ISM from the original key, reset the kilometers. So with that alone, I can reset the mileage on the BDC, which will reset everything on the bike itself. So I wouldn't have to worry. So you get a drift of, I can do everything with this tool. And this is why I say to you guys, when it comes to BMW, Motorad, BMW cars, there's nothing I can't do. I've got all the engineering software. This isn't the only one I've got. We'll be doing other videos later on with another scan tool I've got as well, another engineering one, which can do everything just like this can. Some things it actually does better than this, but this is the main one I usually go for. But like I say, it's a brilliant tool. And like I said, if you are looking to have any of this done, then you know where to contact me, because I would not strongly advise not to go and buy this. It's quite expensive, and you need to know how to use it as well, because like I said, a lot of people will downgrade the firmware. You can't re-update the firmware with this. You'll have to do that on a bench, but a lot of people don't know how to do that. That's why I'm making it clear. Don't even attempt to buy something like this unless of course you can prove why you're going to be using this and not for the wrong reasons, which many people ain't going to be able to. Like I said, it is a very dangerous tool. It was the tool that was getting used to be able to steal cars and bikes. They would plug this up to OBD. OBD socket would basically be like a confused and disorientated child waking up from sleep, because obviously if you plug an OBD port scanner up to the OBD port while the bike's asleep, especially with all electronics, it'll wake the bike up. And when it wakes the bike up, then they just plug this in, make a key, and away they go. Or they'll just do emergency switch on, make the key. For instance, if the bike is off, you've got no key, just click emergency switch on here. It will then turn on all the ignition lights, and then you just go ahead and make the key, and away you go. Hence why BMW patched the version, so you have to downgrade it to make a key, then re-upgrade it, because before that, you could just literally click make a key, prepare dealer key of ignition switch, boom, you turn the emergency switch on, prepare dealer key of ignition switch, and away you go. Whatever I want to do, I've got full access to do. But people will have you believe you can't, and you can't do this, you can't do that. I could do whatever I want to do with this tool. The possibilities are endless. And this is one of the reasons why I use this over everything else, because I could do everything a lot faster than I could with any other tool. Connect it up, and I've got full control over the bike or car and be able to do everything that I need to do. So if you are watching this, now you get an idea of why BMW Motorad never wanted this to get out, because they make you believe if you order a key, you got to wait 4 weeks. If you want to do this, you got to wait hours. No, it's very simple. With the right person, the right tools, anything is possible and anything can be done. But like I said, BMW, I believe it can't be done. And this is the tool I use. It's very advanced. It's engineering at its finest. This is one of my engineering tools out of my other 10. I'll be showing you as we go along on this channel more and more engineering tools that I'm using to be able to use on the bikes, and you guys will get a drift of everything that I use to be able to code, program, make keys, basically do whatever I want, change modules, rewrite the VIN, reset mileage, do whatever I need to do. This is the tools I'll be showing you how to do that. So there you have it. That's why BMW Motorad never wanted that getting out to you guys. And it just goes to show you how much they actually lie and talk a lot of crap. Because if you go into BMW for a key for your bike, they're going to tell you it takes 3 to 4 weeks for a key. It does not. These keyless keys, I can make them in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes. It does not take as long as they may have you believe. And guess what? They will make you believe that this software is illegal, this, that, the other. But realistically, that is exactly the same way the engineers in BMW in Munich are doing it, how they're making you a key. That's exactly how they're doing it. They have got a copy of everything from your file, from your CAS module there, or the BDC. And what they do is they just write that to the key to the transponder. In fact, that's all they're doing. That's why they say it takes 4 weeks, because it's all in a database. Yes, it is the ISN, the rolling code, your type ID, your megahertz key, whatever key it is, all of that stuff is all in their database. They just write it all to the key, and then they know it's going to work. That's what they do. And in Munich, they have dedicated test benches where they can write your whole bike to the modules, and they can test the key there and then if it works or if it starts up or not. And that's what I mean. They will talk a lot of crap and tell you it can't be done. It can be done quickly, and they can't do it. The main dealers cannot make keys. And the reason for that is simple. Could you imagine if the dealers were allowed to make keys? The people they employ, you couldn't trust them. You could not trust the main dealer to make you a key because of the people they employ there. you know, because of the wages they're on, they will happily take 4 or 5 grand from somebody who will say to them, oh yeah, if you make me the keys for that car you just sold or that bike you've just sold, I'll give you 6 grand today. They would do it. They would do it. That's why dealers can't be trusted to make keys. And that's one of the reasons why they'll never be given that feature either. They'll never be allowed to have that, because that is a danger to us as a whole owning any kind of BMW. If the dealers could make keys, we would all live in fear. And that's why dealers are not allowed. No dealers are, for that reason, because they have no control then. The only keys they have is for the vehicles they have there. But once they sell them, they cannot give another person another key, because okay, I think you guys can already tell how dangerous that would be if, for instance, they could give another key to someone else and there's someone lurking out there could end up taking your vehicle, you know? So I hope this actually helps many of you guys be able to understand this is why they want this kind of stuff hidden from you guys, and this is why they'll never actually release it. So I hope this video has actually helped many of you guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.